I slept with him just for revenge, a married woman and a rich, handsome guy. But when I tried to leave, he pushed me into a deeper abyss. You can't leave me, or I'll make you wish you were never born. He said his love for me was destined from the moment we met until death. In the elegant restaurant, a man and a woman sat across from each other, locked in a furious stare. Tony Camel, we're about to get married and now you tell me you've been sleeping with my sister? Let me make one thing clear, I will never bless you too. Tell Latina Lopez to get used to being a side chick for the rest of her life. Her voice trembled with fury and stubbornness. Tony Camel stared at her beautiful but stubborn face. He'd known her since they were kids bossy, selfish. All he felt now was disappointment and disgust. His voice was cold as ice. Then, let me be clear too. I'll never love you. Isabel Lopez. Remember this, even if I marry you, the only one I'll ever love is Latina. He gave her a frosty look, stood up, and walked away without looking back. Isabel Lopez stared at his heartless back. Her eyes brimmed with tears, and finally they spilled. Her devotion was nothing but a nuisance to him, but she'd loved him for so many years. She couldn't let go. The one marrying him should be her Isabel Lopez, not that illegitimate child, Latina Lopez. Why couldn't he see that? Sitting at a corner table, Jason Smith silently watched the entire scene unfold. What a coincidence. 3 encounters, and he'd seen her in 3 completely different states. First time feral and fiery. Second timey sweet little foodie, now a heartbroken woman drowning in sorrow. And yet, no matter which version she was, he just wanted to get closer. She bit her soft pink lips, silent tears streaming down her face. He stared at her, feeling a heat in his chest he'd never known before, tight, burning, suffocating. This foolish girl, all she knew how to do was bark at him, crying over some guy who hurt her. He should go over and let her beat him up instead. He finally couldn't sit still. He stood and walked toward her, handing her a tissue. His voice was low. Here, wipe your tears. Isabel Lopez blinked and slowly looked up. That strikingly handsome face, his deep gaze locked onto her. What are you doing here? Came here to eat. Didn't expect to find a sad little kitten crying in public. You're the one who looks like a sad kitten. She snatched the tissue from him and roughly wiped her tears. Not looking at him, she stood and hurried toward the exit. Jason Smith stretched his long legs and followed. Last time, he let her slip away. This time, he wouldn't. Why are you running? I'm not gonna eat you. He caught up and grabbed her wrist. Let go. She yanked hard to break free. But he pulled at the same time. Her foot twisted and she fell hard right into his chest. Jason Smith stepped back half a step, but wrapped his arms tightly around her slender waist, holding her firmly. Her soft body pressed against his solid chest. She winced slightly from colliding with his hard muscles. But none of that mattered, their bodies were so close. Even their heartbeats were synced. Snapping out of it, she shoved him away with all her strength. Can you not be so annoying? Stop following me or I'll slap you again. She shot him an impatient glare and bolted. Jason Smith staggered a little from the shove, and somehow, it felt like something slipped out of his heart, too. He had already figured out in the restaurant she had someone else she liked. 3 times now. Each time, they passed each other like strangers in a rush. Maybe she was just a fleeting crush. He shouldn't have let a woman he'd only met 3 times occupy his heart like this. Sis, Tony only loves me. Even if you 2 get married, he'll only sleep with me. You're just a pitiful, discarded woman. Latina Lopez's smug face echoed again and again in Isabel Lopez's mind. She clenched the wine glass tightly in her hand, raised it, and drained it in one go. Who knows how much she drank? Her chest still ached so badly it was hard to breathe, because she refused to let go. So Tony Camel retaliated cruelly in their wedding day. He took her beloved sister, his precious lover, and flew abroad to enjoy the honeymoon that was supposed to be hers. In his eyes, Isabel Lopez was just a selfish woman who refused to step aside, so he hurt her without restraint. Bro, check out that chick smoking hot. One guy at a nearby table nudged his buddy, grinning sleazily as he pointed at Isabel Lopez. Under the lights, she looked stunning. There was a wild, sultry allure about her. The buddy rubbed his chin, eyes gleaming with lust. Pretty face. Big rack, tight waist, juicy ass. Damn, if I could hit that just once. Clang! Suddenly, she slammed her glass down. Tony Camel, one day I'll make you regret this, Isabel Lopez shouted, pouring all her rage into the words before collapsing weakly to the ground. Her head dropped as tears came pouring out, wild and unstoppable. There was no one here who knew her, so she could cry. Cry however the hell she wanted. What's wrong, babe? Some guy break your heart? Want me to cheer you up a little? One of the men followed her, reaching out to touch her face. Suddenly, she grabbed his wrist. You, Isabel Lopez caught his hand, stood up fast, yanked him forward, then stomped hard on his back. You want fun? I'll show you fun. She twisted his arm behind his back and pressed down with her foot, pulling hard. You bitch! You dare hit me! You dumbass! Who are you calling a bitch? That was the one word Isabel Lopez hated most right now. She raised her foot and kicked him again. The other guy sobered up fast. He grabbed a nearby bottle and was about to smash it over Isabel Lopez's head, but just as he raised his arm, someone caught his wrist. With a strong pull, he was flung aside. Who the hell? The man looked up and met a pair of cold, bloodthirsty eyes. A tall man stood before him. Who are you? Jason Smith gave him a chilling glare. That was all it took for the guy to shut up, scramble to his feet, and flee, leaving his buddy behind. Something told him this dangerously handsome man was not to be messed with. Bastard. You tried to mess with me. I'll beat the crap out of you. Damn all men. All of you should rot. Isabel Lopez kicked the guy on the ground, again and again. But her head was spinning. She staggered, then started to collapse. Just as she was about to hit the floor face first, a pair of strong arms caught her. A firm chest pressed against hers as he pulled her into his embrace. The world around her spun. Her face landed against his chest. Something about it felt familiar. She looked up, trying to see his face. It was blurry, but far too handsome to be mistaken. Hey, why is it you again? She didn't even know him well. They barely knew each other. And yet, seeing him now made her feel strangely safe. So safe that she let herself collapse into his arms without resistance. Isabel Lopez couldn't hold her liquor, but at least she was a peaceful drunk. Once she passed out, she just slept. Isabel Lopez, even if I marry you, I'll never touch you. You're not even worthy of carrying Latina's shoes. Don't dream that I'll ever want you. All you have is a useless marriage certificate. Starting today, I'm moving abroad with Latina. I don't want to see your face, it disgusts me. Disgusting. Disgusting. Ah. Isabel Lopez jolted awake, gasping for air. The lights were blinding. Her eyes ached. She blinked a few times and finally started to take in the room around her. It had sleek, understated luxury with European touches. A large white bed. Her fingers brushed the silky soft sheets. It was so comfortable she didn't want to get up. But where was she? You were awake? A low, familiar voice reached her ears. Isabel Lopez turned her head. Her eyes landed first on firm, lean abs, then a tight waist, a sculpted chest, and finally, a face too handsome to be real. She stared at him, speechless. Maybe she was still mesmerized by the male model level looks, or maybe she hadn't fully escaped the nightmare she'd just woken from. Until he leaned closer and gently stroked her cheek. His voice was husky, low, and tender. Are you okay? She blinked slowly. She'd never heard Tony Camel speak to her so softly, but she had heard him speak like that to Latina Lopez. Was he whispering sweet nothings to her right now? On their bed, doing all the things a married couple was supposed to do, except not with his wife. Suddenly, her heart twisted, like someone had grabbed it and crushed it tight. It hurt deeply. Why? Why did she have to cling to this painful, humiliating love, to a broken marriage that meant nothing? Why? A sudden wave of disgust hit her. She wanted to let everything go. She wanted to do something reckless, to shatter the 10 years of stubbornness that had trapped her. Her gaze settled on the man's beautiful face. Slowly, she reached out and touched his high-bridged nose, his seductive lips. All her life, she thought Tony Camel was the most handsome man, but now she knew he wasn't even a tenth of this man. And yet, it was this man who gave her the kind of tenderness Tony Camel never had. She slowly drew her hand back, tilted her chin, and gently hesitantly pressed her lips to his. His lips were cool. People say men with cold lips are destined to be cold-hearted. That's fine. She wasn't looking for love. Her half-drunken eyes narrowed slightly. Her gaze dropped and kept falling. He had just opened his mouth when she pressed a finger to his lips, then grabbed his hand, sat up, and leaned in for another kiss.